other interesting business news, or actually, let me scratch that. Other interesting political news, you have DeSantis says he will repeal Trump's bump stock ban and Biden's pistol brace ban. Will he win over the support from the Second Amendment community? Now, this comes from the DeSantis War Room, which actually, for them, went moderately viral. They usually get, depending on the topic, they usually get between 20, 30, 40,000 views. Of course, you do have outliers, of course. But this one got about 100,000 views in a day. And the text before the video says, quote, DeSantis as president, I will repeal Trump's bump stock ban and Biden's pistol brace ban. They are both unconstitutional. And then we have a little clip here. And again, if you do have a software recommendation for picture-in-picture, please let me know in the comments. Always evaluating new tech, trying to make the show better for everyone. So without further ado,
we're going to revoke the bureaucracy rules that they're doing under both Trump and Biden. Trump did bump stock and Biden is doing pistol brace. Those are both unconstitutional, and not even to Second Amendment, and maybe for that, but just the bureaucracy can't legislate. And they're legislating with no congressional authorization. So we're going to repeal both of those because that's going to make a lot of people in jeopardy. Yes, sir.
So this will be interesting because the Second Amendment community is a large one, and they do get out the vote, usually. They need to get better about that, I would also argue. But Trump, whether you like him or not, he did ban bump stocks. And from a legal perspective, that was a terrible legal decision, I believe, because, again, they redefined what the definition is of a machine gun, which, of course, case law is a precarious thing. And, again, millions of people purchased that product legally with a letter from the ATF that actually, at the time, signed off on the product. And then, without ever having an ability to defend yourself in court or actually argue for, what was it, there's a special amendment for that? You actually can't have your property just stolen or by the U.S. government. Unfortunately, most government officials don't care about the Constitution or due process of the Bill of Rights. But nevertheless, Trump did ban the bump stocks through an executive order. And again, it's a little unusual in terms of the court casings and how this filing. Apparently, it's been overturned by some court of appeals, but at the end of the day, the technology is obsolete. It's been supplanted by superior technology. And unfortunately, the mom and pop shop that manufactured it is out of business. They used to employ a whole town in Texas. Or, as some might say, Texas. Which sounds better, as is undoubtedly the best state in the union, of course. Now, when it comes to Biden's pistol brace ban, that is also being argued in the courts right now. And again, from a legal perspective, is another instance where someone invented a patent. It's actually a veteran who was, unfortunately, due to the war, he was disabled and he wanted to still shoot an AR-15. So he came up with a device in which you could actually clamp it onto your arm as a brace, and you could shoot the weapon safely. The government said, the ATF specifically said, oh yeah, this is a legal product. Here's their little certificate saying we are allowing this patent for this use case. This does not redefine this AR-15 pistol as a rifle. Millions of people bought it. Estimated between 10 and 40 million people bought the product. And then all of a sudden the government goes, oh yeah, we're going to ban that now. We're going to turn you into a felon. So if you don't register this product, we're going to slap you with the usual NFA consequences, that being the National Firearm Act. So if you still have that without actually doing it, let me see here, they would actually turn you into a felon overnight. So 10 years in prison and $250,000 fine, to say the least. So, but as DeSantis, what do you think the comments will say? Do you think they're supportive of it, or do you think anyone even believes him? It'll be interesting to see. Let's dive on in. Now, of the about 100,000 people who actually viewed that, 1,347 people liked the video from, again, the DeSantis War Room. Now, it looks like, in terms of responses, Mr. Williams' thoughts said repeal the NFA. Got one like. Again, that would be the National Firearms Act, which, again, what are the Republicans doing these days, or for decades? They've been running on that. That was passed in 1934. It's been how many years, and they still can't repeal that unconstitutional garbage? Ridiculous, to say the least. Again, I think that's one of the issues is there's a lot of rhinos, which is a pejorative term for Republican in name only, because their actions certainly do not represent the Republican Party. You have Mr. John Eisenberger saying, quote, LOL, Trump's bump stock ban has already been reversed by the courts, and Florida itself bans bump stocks, and Rob had nothing to do about this at the time as governor. Unquote. Grammar aside, it sounds like DeSantis, it's not Ron, it's Ron, not Rob, but nevertheless, Mr. DeSantis has not done anything about that issue since he's been in office. Now, this person got 74 likes and brings up a good point. You should probably fix your state before you want to try to fix the country, some might say. And yeah, that'd be an easy way to fix it. Someone also by the name of Max says, how about Florida's red flag laws, unquote, getting 43 likes. Because again, if you believe in the Bill of Rights or the Second Amendment, you know red flag laws are disgusting, morally vacuous, and evil. It's because, as simple as it sounds, if you just don't like someone, you could call them in saying, oh yeah, I feel threatened by them, and the government will steal your guns, and then you have to go to the court and prove that you have the ability to responsibly own them. Disgusting. No due process. They just take them. And this has been abused by a myriad of, just think of scenarios. Of course it's been abused by exes, by ex-wives, ex-girlfriends, and vice versa. Sometimes. I would say the former more than the latter. But it's been abused so much. So that's a big issue, and yet, yeah, DeSantis isn't bringing that issue up. He hasn't fixed that in his own state. Now, someone named Megatron, which you probably know who they vote for, good marketing. This person says, quote, what an irrelevant post for someone who can't rally 10% of his own party and will never be president, unquote. He got 9 likes. Now, Mr. Ben Stanton said, quote, why is DeSantis waited? He could have done this for years, unquote. Got 5 likes, and yes, that is a good, correct statement. Now, we do have some pejorative ones, or I guess ones are supporting DeSantis and going against the grain in terms of the trend we're seeing where most of these comments are against DeSantis. Mr. Just Chris says, quote, it's funny how the pro-Trumpers in these threads can never attack DeSantis without anything of substance. It's all just childish lies, and they cannot prove any evidence to back it up, unquote. Grammar aside, this person did get 9 likes. Another couple of folks bringing up a lot of people actually. Mr. Patriot Prove 2.0 says he actually did a meme, or actually a clip from a CNN article saying Florida's red flag laws championed by Republicans is taking guns from thousands of people. They got 11 likes. Oh, okay, here's someone who's actually supportive. Mr. R.C. James says, quote, yes, keep hitting Trump on all his failures. There are many. Glad to see you are finally taking the offensive. Keep it up, unquote. Getting 18 likes, so quite a few. Donnie Ferguson said, quote, the pistol brace ban is actually the Trump pistol brace ban. Trump proposed it, but lost the election, and Biden implemented it, unquote. Getting 22 likes. Which, I need to look into that, because I was not aware of that. I'm not sure if that is correct. Let's see here. A lot. I'd still say about. Let's see here. A lot of people, yep, and a lot by the name of Jazzy saying, quote, yep, Florida has red flag laws, unquote, getting 5 likes. So, let's see. Yeah, I'd say 70% are against Ron in this case. So, as usual, let's see here. Oh, one more. One person by the name of Doug says, quote, Ron is a scumbag and a liar, unquote, and he has a picture of a article from NPR saying a U.S. appeals court blocks a ban on rapid-fire bump stocks. And then another is a picture of the states that have red flag laws, and of course it includes Florida. That got 2 likes. So the DeSantis team continues to attempt to be good at social media, and yet they still not so good. So it'll be interesting to see, of course, what's the correlation between social media and actual votes in the primaries, and will he become the nominee? It'll be interesting to see. Let me know, do you think he'll win over the Second Amendment community? I mean, I'd say right now it doesn't seem so good. Again, given the lack of action that he's had in his own home state. And it wouldn't take much intelligence for a competing Republican nominee to point that out astutely. So it'll be interesting to see, if you're pro-gun, would you support DeSantis? Or I guess that'd be a good question. Who are you supporting if you're pro-gun? Do you think Trump would be the best for Second Amendment? Do you think Vivek might be? Be interesting to see, but as I say, time shall tell. Thank you everyone again for taking the time to tune in today. I appreciate your support. Trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of October. So if you could click that button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, any comments are also appreciated because the feedback is how we grow, make the channel better and better together. Lastly, if you like the channel, it may or may not help with the algorithm. It's a mysterious thing. I'm not quite sure. It seems like it changes on a weekly basis on which videos go viral, which ones get shared more. But at the end of the day, your support is also always appreciated. Also, lastly, don't forget to take time to Tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.